Welcome to this week's episode of the Compliance Digest, presenting topics on all things compliance related. My name is Alex Krenke, and joining me this week is Jenny Greene, the Manager of Business Development at Quest CE. Jenny, welcome.
Thanks, Alex.
This week we're going to be taking a move in the direction away from talking about cheaters and cheating scandals. We're going to go back to talking about rules and regulations, specifically about the SEC, a new rule that came out in regards to social media. So this is, I think, one that we've all been waiting for. We've been eagerly reading the headlines, waiting to see what's going to happen with this one. And specifically what happened is on April 2nd, the SEC met and came out with guidelines on how companies can use Facebook and Twitter, given that they use proper disclosures and they meet these requirements. So, Jenny, if you could today just highlight what these requirements are.
I've been reading the press. I think everyone has seen the headlines about the SEC. I've seen it in Forbes and Investment News and everywhere. The SEC met and issued a report of investigation that reiterated the goal of Reg FD, which we all know is Regulation Fair Disclosure, which clarifies the rule in regards to social media. Firms may use social media as a way to communicate to the investor as long as they meet two requirements. The first requirement being that you have to provide access to all people, so you can't restrict access to a specific group of people. The second requirement being that the investor has to know where they should go to receive this news. So you can have a secret Facebook corporate page. You have to point the investors to that page.
Let's talk about a case study that happened last December, and it revolves around Netflix, specifically the CEO at the company, Reed Hastings, who got into some trouble for something he posted on his personal Facebook page, which is not locked. It's open to the public. What did he say, and why was the SEC concerned?
In his first personal Facebook account, like you just said, is probably where the issue stemmed from. He stated and congratulated his team as a great CEO at Netflix in June that they actually exceeded 1 billion videos watched in a single month, which is great for Netflix. All their investors should know if he's posting it on his personal Facebook account, and that's where that concern came in from the SEC. He didn't publish it to all investors at one time. It was restricted to his personal Facebook followers, and it was not officially disclosed as a SEC disclosure or a news release.
Mm-hmm. It's an excellent case study in that, I think what Reed was probably thinking is, this is just great information. I want to share this with my friends and my family. But what investors saw, or rather regulators, is sort of a different case where it's privileged information as opposed to something that would really benefit all investors.
Exactly.
So let's talk about this in terms of broker-dealers and translate this story over to their example. If a broker-dealer does choose to use social media, how do you do it safely, and is it even worth the risk?
To do it safely, avoid the personal Facebook educating the public on what your company is doing. Educate the public and point your investors to a corporate Facebook account that is releasing news releases or press about your company. And do not restrict access. So if someone wants to sign up and watch your Twitter feed, that you're not saying, no, I can't let you watch my Twitter feed. Using personal accounts is where it gets risky, especially when you're communicating corporate or business news releases that actually need an appropriate filing and recording of that news release per that Reg FD that we discussed.
It's a good point, and I think it's something that definitely we all can take into consideration when we're coming up with our policies for this year and moving forward on how we choose to use social media. So the decision from the SEC does add clarity. I think, unfortunately, it does leave a lot of legwork for these firms out there, making sure that they have links from their corporate website to all the public-facing personal Facebook accounts and Twitter accounts, so that when the information is disseminated, that it's given out fairly to everyone at the same time.
Exactly.
And that'll cover it for this week's episode of the Compliance Digest. I want to thank you again for joining us. We'll see you again next week for another episode of the Compliance Digest.